Good morning, everybody. We are going to get started on this one today. Yesterday, I put a post up on the Apache page wanting to get some definite measurements, and there's a lot of helpful people on there and a lot of rude people too. Everybody telling me to change the cab out. Well, that's not what my customer wants. They don't seem to get that in their heads. My customer wants to keep his cab. His dad did a lot of stuff to this, and he wants to keep the cab. So that ends that part of the discussion. But other than that, there was a lot of very helpful people giving me the measurements I need and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, surprisingly, 80% of the people do not like the chop top. A few people do. Few people have regular roofs on theirs and they would rather have a chop top. I told them to bring it in. All right, well, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this Lexan out of here. I ain't too worried about that one. It can stay in the cab because, you know, I ain't doing nothing with it. Get it out of there. All right. I'm going to get the rubber off this and see if I can't get that Lexan out of there. Oh, well, that's real simple when it's a loose fit like that. Go, my driver. There we go. All right, let's just set this over here out of the way. Man, that glass is clear. Well, I think I'll get the doors off of here. Let's just see what we need to get those out of there. 9/16. Stay. 9/16. One down. Man, this thing is short. Let's go to the other side. Two down. Alright, gonna protect this dash the best I can. Alright guys, I think the first thing I want to do is I want to clean this up to see what they did back in there. Well, that's interesting. I could have swore that seam was going to be right in here, but it's up here. Very interesting. Well, I can tell you right now, it was cut up here. And you can tell this was back in the day because they leaded it from here to here. Let me answer the phone here. Hello? All right, back to what I was saying. They leaded it And they used red oxide primer, and they used the red spot putty. That was typical in the 70s, up through the 80s, even into the 90s. Wow. So, I'm not happy with the way this rib looks. This one is much better. Nice and straight. Yeah, it needs the trim holes plugged, but the lines are straight. And the rib is there. That's supposed to be there. On this one, it's not. See, they had it filled. So, I'll cut that first. I'm gonna cut it below this body line. And this one I'm gonna cut just above it. That way when I set that down, it'll hold it at that height. And then I'll trim or however I'm gonna do it. So now I wanna check the front, see how they did that. Even my customer told me that after his dad sold this, the guy that did it or bought it shaved the lip off the front of the windshield. And you can tell because that's a later model Bondo in there.
Alright, so this is my car, this is his. So we went to Englishtown, New Jersey to a swap meet, to a drag strip called Englishtown Dragway in New Jersey. You heard of it?
Yep.
I found them at 66 or 7. What was that?
66.
Yeah, 327 all original. I said 9 grand. This was back in the 90s. 9 grand. And his dad said, "No, it's too much money." And this and that. I said, "It's going to cost you more to do this."
Yeah.
Well, we went. He wouldn't listen. We built this, and in 1995, I painted it, did all the work. Now we're going to redo it. Show them what you did under the hood. Sure. So, yeah, this paint job's from 1995.
Painted in a barn.
I painted it in my shed.
Awesome.
He put that.
So it's a Mustang 2 front end. It's just simple. 327, aluminum heads, light car. Tremec 5-speed.
I like that.
Hydraulic
That's
clutch.
clean.
Not much to it. Rack and pinion, so I mean it rides nice.
Yeah. That's clean.
I always like the little Novas.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's some.
Wow. Do some nice work.
Thank you.
Now, how far of a drive was it?
Well, we live in right outside of Philadelphia, Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I don't know. How long, about how many miles? About 700 to here?
Yes, yeah, 700.
Wow.
It's got coilovers, you know, put the big tires on it, 5-speed Tremec, 9-inch Ford rear, 454.
Well, you're building them right if you're driving them like that.
He's got
How long your truck.
There's a picture of your truck.
Yeah, I have a truck.
I did a '66 Ford pickup.
Yeah. Well, it's tight in there, isn't it?
Yeah. Lot of money, you know that.
Yeah.
I like the Del A interior.
I like this.
And
You know what?
mini tub bit. Look at the tires underneath it.
Yeah. If it'll show up on the camera.
It might. Yeah, but he did all the work on it. Tell me.
I don't know.
Oh, my shadow can't even be in the Holy
Serious romance going on here. You know what to do outside.
Alright. Very nice.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll get a lot of pop out of
This
it.
is material for months. Hey, I know you gotta do that. And then there's a sheriff on the other side. Of course, that's kind of lucky. Everybody waits for it. We gotta get a flunky. Have a guy
Much like what usually you do, see them once, see them someplace else. Lights are straight, isn't it? Nice. Is yours?
Soft car's mine.
So what's the power plants?
Chevrolet.
Awesome.
350 turbo, Nova rear in it. Disc brake kit on the original front end, fiberglass leaf springs, gas shocks. The old 3-speed is converted to the automatic. Exhaust manifolds, you know, it's driver.
How long have you had that one?
I built it in 2008, and it came out of a garage. It was my office manager's parents' car. They bought it off the original owner in '64.
Okay.
And it sat in a Philly garage, a Sears house with a detached garage in Philadelphia. It sat in there since '64.
Wow.
And they would drive it periodically. It had a flathead with a 3-speed in it. And I heard about the car for years from her. Like, my parents have an old car, my parents have an old car. And finally went and looked at it. I looked it up online. I'm like, oh, it's not even good looking. I passed on it. And it kept coming back again. I finally said, I'm going to go look at it. And I said, I'll buy it, but I'm probably going to chop it up for parts and all.
Yeah.
And when I came back from the beach the one day, it was sitting in my driveway with a different set of wheels on it because it had all flat tires. And I just leaned my surfboard up against it, and I'm looking at it, and I go, that car is like so ugly, it's cool.
Yep.
And we built it, and I just figured, you know, leopard interior and just all rock and roll and surfing.
You know, looking at that car, I thought I'd seen that car at Hershey's car show back in the mid-90s.
Now,
But it looks real familiar.
it's There's not a spot of rust on the car. The floor pans in it and all look like the day Henry Ford made it.
Wow.
And we rewired the whole car. It's just a really good, dependable car. Ran 70 mile an hour all day yesterday.
Awesome. Well, you guys just drove 700
Yeah,
miles.
never
so
missed a beat yesterday. So,
I can't even do that with mine right now.
well, we just put power brakes in it, and we didn't have that. We didn't have to put a spring on it because it was brake pedal was sticking a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And but it's been a good car. Underneath is all done real nice, all painted and coated, and you know.
Nice.
But it's a
I love seeing them staying on the road.
oh, absolutely. You know, when you think about it, like, how did that car last 78 years?
Yeah. Yep.
And how many vacations it took, and where did it go, and the
Yep.
history of it.
Yeah.
You know, we're just caretakers for it.
Yeah. Just like
We're
the
timekeepers.
Lincoln Highway Tour.
Yeah,
On that interview, he said, we're just caretakers.
yeah.
These cars started out on the Lincoln Highway. We're just continuing the tradition, and when we're gone, somebody else needs to take it over.
I seen a show the one time where a guy was interviewing a bunch of young guys out in California with rat rods, and they were all into roadsters and everything. And the guy said, "What possessed you to buy this car?" And he goes, "I don't," or to buy and want to own this car. He goes, "I don't own this car." He says, "I'm nothing more than a timekeeper on this car."
Yep.
And he says, "Somebody kept time on it before me. I'm keeping time on it now, and now he's keeping time on it."
Yep. Yep. Sounds good. Have a safe trip. That was really interesting. They came from Pennsylvania, and the way they described it, they're up close to the New Jersey area. Drove 700 miles, and that was awesome. I really appreciate that. Those are some good guys. They were on their way to Woodward Dream Cruise in Michigan, and they dropped down 2 hours south to stop here. That blows my mind. Thank you, guys. All right, I'm gonna get back on this and looking at it. It's gonna be really fun to decipher this, because you can see they welded here, and I'm not exactly sure what they did to get this area done. So I am going to take this thing right here. I'm going to put it right against that, and I'm going to get that shape, and I'm going to go over there, and wherever that curve fits, just get a comparison. Let's come over here and see where it fits on this. Okay. Right there is the bottom of that. So where this is up here, bring it down right there should be where I'm gonna have to cut it. And it kind of looks that way. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it up here and get that over on it and go from there. I don't want to cut too much out, so I'll cut this up here somewhere and cut and cope as I go. Now see, the A-pillar on the donor, the other side is cut up higher. There's no curve on it. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out, I guess. I'm gonna say I'm gonna cut this up here. That line is theoretically where that A-pillar stops. I'm gonna cut it up here and go from there, I guess. Let's see. All right. There is supposed to be a seam right at the bottom of the roof channel, like that right there. They've welded over it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna measure down from there to that line and see what I got. Let's see, right here from the roof channel to there is 10 inches. From the roof channel to there, well, I gotta have that line put back in. Line that back up. Wow. All right, I got to do some thinking here. Well, that will change because I'm raising that roof up. That's 10 inches to that line over there. It's 14 here, so that tells me it's a 4-inch chop. There's going to be a lot of planning on this one. I'm just going to get this side cleaned up and get some measurements on it. I might end up doing a little bit of reconstruction on this. Might have to build it as I go. I do know the measurement from this lip to this lip. And I need to keep that dimension. I think the first thing I need to do is just get the roof out of the way. Brace the cab first, get the roof out of the way, and then mount the doors. That way I can keep my lines and then figure out where I gotta trim this to fit the doors and measuring and ooh-ha. The back's had some work done, that's for sure. They must have had something with this corner because they replaced this section here. Can't really tell. I got that dynamat in there. I got to get that wire and domite out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and yank that dynamat out of the way. I don't want to just jump into it without knowing what's back there. He's going to be redoing all this wiring. He's going to put the fuse block back where it's supposed to be, I guess. Let's see if we can get this dynamat out of here. Let go. Oh man, that stuff's sticky. I gotta find a place to get a hold of it. I see nothing. Man, that stuff's sticky.
How am I going to get this out of here?
One thing's for sure, that stuff holds on pretty good. Let's clear up here. I might have to wait and just cut through that stuff because it's behind all this stuff where I gotta cut. All right, I'm gonna cut it on this top line here. I know this will end up getting cut out of there, but I want to try to save this bottom line. I know this corner's been modified, but I know from here around is all factory. I basically just want to get the top out of my way so I can get to figuring it out. Man, went through that disc quick. All right, I'll be back. 'em. Now, I'm not going to get crazy with the A-pillar because I'm not sure how it's going to work. Got to be honest here, right? I'm going to cut it up here. Yep, knew that was coming. All right, 2 of the 3. Three of 3. All right, now we gotta get that thing off there. decapitated. Yeah, I'd have never got that stuff out of there. They must have fed it down in there and then peeled the backing off of it. All right. Wow. Whole new look, that's for sure. All right, I'm gonna see if I can't peel some of that Dynamat out of the way. Yeah, down in like that. And then I'm gonna get the donor roof up on here and figure out where to clean the back wall up. I'm gonna get the back wall set first. I literally have no idea how they got this stuff up in here. All right, so the inside panel comes up. That lip right there is what you're seeing on top of that one. This is all supposed to be bent underneath and attached up in here. So this side's cut pretty much right at that brace. This side is down just a little bit below. That's fine. That's good. Okay, there really ain't gonna be a whole lot of prep work on this part. That line right there, I'm gonna come down, grab a piece of 3/4 tape and trim down below that. And then when I set this up there, I can slide this down. I'm just gonna overlap that. Well, I don't see why not. And just bring that down and it'll overlap right there and weld it. As long as that body line hits and it's in the same spot, that'll be good. This up here, once I get it in place, as I'm coming down, I can trim, and if I got a gap, I got a gap. I'll just have to plate it in. Hey, what do we got here? Waiting for a critter to run out. Okay. Now I know what I want to do there. As far as up here, I'm not really sure until I get it over there. All right, let me figure out how I'm going to set this thing so I can get it cut apart. All right, so here's that body line that I'm keeping. I want to come top edge of the tape right on that line. Now, I'm going to test fit this, but before I weld it on there, there's a little bit of work on the windshield lip right in the front. I want to take care of that while it's out here. I also want to go ahead and plug all these holes. That way I ain't got to do it on the truck. time to get creative to figure out where to cut this. I know it's got to go down. Actually, it's going to go up an inch from right there. Not so much. I'm exactly 2 inches tall. Exactly 2 inches tall right there. Come on, dang it. Didn't ask for you to fight me like this. Come on. That A-pillar over there is fighting me. This. What the heck did they do? Ah, they widened it, brought it forward. Yeah, this is gonna be a flipping nightmare. Come on. Fix your butt. Looks like I'm about an inch tall. Alright. I am going to take that's 3/4. I'm going to take 1 inch out at a time. Until I get it close. 1 inch moves that a lot. So see, it's got to come down and forward. That and that should line up, but I don't know if they twisted these or not. I might have to push on this to get it out far enough. I won't know that until I get into it. side don't look right. I kill you! Hate spiders. Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna say it's close enough to go ahead and bolt the doors on. Hopefully, those bars I welded in there aren't in the way. Come on now. Alright, I'm gonna have to pull that roof back off there, unfortunately. Heavily modified that. Whole door's got to go that way, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, if that. Actually, leave the top where it's at, move the bottom that way. Alright. I've got to move the bottom of that door out just a hair. And somehow I've got to move the front of the door straight up. All right, let's see if we can get these bolts to come loose, able to raise the door straight up. And of course, it's the wrong size. All right, go ahead and jack it up for me. You're not gonna do it, are you? Great. Man, so much for this cooler weather they're called for. What a flippin' nightmare. In order to put this hardware in there, they got rid of the factory weld nuts. And it's a blind side, so you can't get to it with your hands and your eyeballs. It's one or the other. funny that it wasn't very tight. Okay, now I need the bottom of the door to go out just a hair. Taking my knuckle off, bud. Alright. Let's see what that is. Man, that door gap is tight in there. Uh-huh. Looks like that's been smashed. That lip isn't straight, it's been in. Down here it's straight, up here it's straight. Got 3/16 here and here. Right there it's touching. 3/16 here and the fender's whacked. But that gets it close enough. Feels good that way now. Of course, I gotta put pressure on it because that A-pillar's hitting. You can see they had modified that corner. When it comes in and hits right there. And if you look, this is leaned in. So I'm gonna have to pie shape this, bring it forward and out. That gap there looks beautiful. That gap there looks beautiful, but right there it's touching. That gap looks beautiful. That gap, not so much. The fender's curving forward there. All right, so the door is hanging there where I'm gonna say that's where the door needs to be. So I need to finish cleaning this stuff up, split it, twist it, get it lined up, tack it back together. And I gotta do the same thing on that side, I'll bet, because the A-pillars didn't look right from there to there. These were way in, which it's chop top, so of course it's gonna have to lean in farther. I don't know if I can put a porta power in there and push it, but I would rather not do that and then weld it there and it changed the whole thing. I would rather split it and get it so it stays in place on its own, then weld the top, so there ain't no pressure on it. All right, I'm gonna say this side is mounted. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day and come in tomorrow morning, hang the other door on there, and get the A-pillar on the body pulled out where they need to be. And then I'll set that cab back down, the roof of the cab back down, and cut and cope there. The back, I'm gonna say it's right where it needs to be, because it was going pretty much in place. That corner right there kept holding me up. But that could be because this has all been changed. The rest of it's the same, but this side's been modified. Okay, I'm going to call it a day right there. Give my thinking cap a break. Alright, I'm gonna get that roof set back down on the ground and get out of here. Have a blessed evening.